So hi all, as I said, so this is my second part of the video, which is the topic under the topic DHCP. So let's again go ahead and see what is our second part. So as I already said in the previous video that we have discussed in the first part that we have a DHCP server, we have configured a router as a DHCP server, but this time we're gonna have a separate DHCP server in a separate LAN network, and then we will be requesting an IP address for the clients which are in a separate LAN. So we're gonna see how to configure that, and then how do we actually request an IP address from a different network. So your DHCP server is sitting in a separate network. So let's see how we can actually do that. So this is my this is the second part of the DHCP topic that we have discussed. So let's I'll just open the uh, Cisco Packet Tracer and show you what we're gonna do over there. I have actually configured a little bit already. I'm gonna show you the configuration, how to do it. So as you can see here that here the DHCP server is in a separate location. You can see that this is a different LAN, and here you have two pieces again. Earlier you had this router here acting as a DHCP server, but now you have a DHCP server in a separate location, and this DHCP server is going to provide IP addresses for your clients here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to show here today. So let's go ahead and see here if we have an IP here. So if you can see here, there is no IPv4 address here. We are only talking IPv4. Okay, we are not talking about IPv6. So again, if you see here, we don't have any IP address. Let me show you by issuing a command ipconfig. So we don't have any IP address. So let me show you what is the configuration that I have done here. So on this router, if you see, there is one command that you have to give. That is very simple. Show IP. The command is IP helper address, and you need to give that IP address, the DHCP server's IP address here. So if you actually do a show run config section DHCP. Okay. So if you actually see here, I have issued only one single command, that is this one, IP helper address 192.168.10.2. So this 192.168.10.2 is my DHCP server's IP address, which is static. So if you can go here and see, I think here you can see no. IP configuration here. See, this is I've configured the DHCP server's IP address static, and 10.2 is my IP address. So this you gonna give statically, because always the server should be configured statically. You cannot give like ideally it doesn't work that way. So you're gonna give the static IP address for the servers. So that is what I have given. And configuration wise, you just have to switch on the DHCP services on, and you need to create a pool name. As earlier, I have created some pools on the router, which I'm making it as a DHCP server, right? So in the same case here as well, look at the pool name. So I've created two pools here. One is A2M networks 2, and this is one network which is on here. This is for one network. I have created one pool. And the same thing, if you actually see here, A2M networks 1, this is another pool I've created for this network. Okay. So anyways, you don't have to create here because you already have assigned IP addresses. Since I have this pool, so I want to provide IP addresses here. So I have created this pool. You can just check here. So this is the pool. So 192.168.0.1 is the gateway here, which is this router's physical interface. And you can see that I am starting from 10. So up to 9, I don't want to provide. Out of like from 1 to 9, I don't want to give. From 10, I want to start to give IP addresses for these clients. So this is what the configuration that you need to do in a DHCP server. Okay, and simple configuration, right? So you just have to create a pool, and you need to mention what is your default gateway, what is your DNS server, and you need to switch on the services, DHCP services, because you're making this server as a DHCP server, right? So this is I have taken a normal server. I have just switched on the services, DHCP services. That's it. So this, from now onwards, this server will be acting as a DHCP server. And on this router, which is acting as a DHCP relay agent, as you know that all the discover offer will be broadcast messages, right? So until this point, all will be broadcast, but from here on, all the messages will be unicast because you need to have a predefined network, which means that you need to configure either a static IP configuration or a OSP of dynamic, IP protocols you need to configure in order to reach DHCP server, right? You need to have a path in order to reach the DHCP server. So that's what I've done. I've just configured a OSP of network here. So this router is trying to, since this router is already have that IP in the routing table, so it's gonna take forward that message here. So let's go ahead and see how my PC is getting a. So as you all know that right now we don't have, and what is the IP address that my client should get? Let's go ahead and see under DHCP. So this is the pool, right? So 0.1, and it should start from 0.10 because this is the starting IP address that we are going to provide. So .10, it should start from .10. So let's go ahead and get the IP address here. IP config, as you know, a simple command to get an IP address /renew if you give. So yeah, so it's starting from 10, right? So it got .10. And as you know, like it can give a lot of information, like I've mentioned in the previous video also that it will give other information as well. So yeah, it got it. Same thing, let's go ahead and see on the PC as well. It's very simple. Just so my main goal here is to how to configure a DHCP server when it is in a separate network, and the configuration, and also there is a simple command IP helper address, and you need to provide the DHCP server's IP address there. That's it. You can enable a DHCP configuration. Same thing here, IP config /renew if you give, it's gonna get an IP address from the server. Yeah. So the next part 3, which I'm gonna talk about, is the packet walk. How, like I'm gonna show you discover, offer, request, acknowledgement, all those messages in the packet walk. And let's go ahead and talk about that in the next part 3 video. Okay. I think yeah, this client got the IP address, which is the next IP address. I think, yeah, for part 2, that's all I have. Let's go ahead and in part 3, let's go ahead and talk about the packet walk, how an IP address, how a client gets an IP address on the DHCP server. Let's see through a packet walk in that video. Okay. I think, yeah, in this video, I think that's all I have. Thank you guys. Have a good one.